to school, particularly primary and secondary schools. Here is what we learned.
The model that has worked for Rollington Town Primary School in terms of delivery of the curriculum is one in which we look at inclusion, we understand the individual differences, but the model that works is where we try to achieve a multiple intelligences classroom, where the teachers had to change their strategies to incorporate the different learning styles of the students. We realize that some students will learn by looking visually, but there are others who will learn by doing things with their hands, using manipulatives, some of them will learn by listening. So you can't just stick to one chalk and talk.
One of the traditions that we had was that, you had a teacher who would remain in a particular grade for years. So you earned the title, grade 1 teacher, grade 5 teacher, grade 6 teacher. And so when I became principal, that's one of the things I changed. No teacher is pinned to any grade. We were trained at the primary level or the early childhood level. So if it's early childhood education, you can teach from grades 1 to 3. Show me what you can do. So I shifted teachers around very often, every year. So I tell people they are not in any safe position, but if you're primary trained, you should be able to teach from grades 1 to 6 with comfort and ease. Therefore, you need to be on top of your game.
What we recognized from the beginning, the curriculum, the core curriculum from the national curriculum from the Ministry of Education, there were certain aspects of it that we adopted and then we added to it. So if it said there were 6 topics to be covered, we did 10 because our students could do more. So we challenged them to do more.
We have a core of teachers at Campion that are superb professionals, committed not just to seeing that the children do well, but do their very best, committed to dragging the last one over that line, right? So they're going to make sure the brightest do their best, but the 2 or 3 who are problematic, who look like they might fall through the cracks, from day one, they identify who those are and they begin talking at the departmental level of how we're going to address this man. This man looks like he's about to self-destruct, What are we going to do about him? This is a man that looks like he has to stay with us 3 days a week after school, This is a man who looks like the communication with his parents is going to be more intense than everybody else. This is no. We call it, it's a very Jesuit word, expression, the cura personalis. An Ignatian expression that means the care of the person, the care for the individual child, so that you don't leave a man behind and you don't let a girl fall through the cracks.
The school strategic plan, which is the balanced scorecard model of strategic planning, is one that requires all stakeholders to participate. And so the focus groups that we have to have before we can finalize involve all stakeholders, even the students.
You would be moved by the upward mobility of Holland High School in the parish of Trelawney. Opening its doors in 2004, it was not the school of choice for many parents. But from the proverbial day one, the exercise of teaching and learning was transformed. This non-traditional high school is an institution of high performance, like the Center of Excellence Belmont Academy in Westmoreland, both comparable to top-ranked traditional high schools.
Every class has a mantra. Grade 7, it is reading to excel because of where we are coming from, and every child is a member of the school library. Grade 8, cognition is our mission, because now we are seeking to develop the higher order thinking skills. Grade 9, save our 9th graders. Not saving them because they're in trouble, saving them because of all the negative forces around. And we have to make sure that they do not fall prey. Grade 10, go for goal. And grade 11, success and mastery.
Every teacher plays a role in my life. They tell me what to do, they encourage me, they talk about my grades, they give me advice. And if it wasn't for Holland High School, I would not be as confident as I am now.
Off to school, as we said at the start. And now in class with special education on how it has been transformed.
The recommendations of the task force were absorbed into 5 main areas: legislative reform, identification, referral, and treatment, resulting also in placement. The issue of capacity building, ensuring that we had greater public education, and also introducing to the system alternative forms of education, resulting in an inclusive approach to education. So we moved from a system that recognized special education in segregated settings to now where we are evolving in our awareness through the introduction of a framework which is to lead educational leaders to understand how, from the moment students enter formal education, how it is that you're identifying what their particular needs are, providing those services, and responding in a way that the students are not feeling that they are being picked on or picked out, but they're so absorbed in the methodologies that are used are methodologies that all good teachers would use.
There are proficiency pathways that students can access education. Based on the national assessments, we'll be able to determine the functioning level of students, where they're at, and what their needs are. And so it's not a one-size-fits-all approach to curriculum implementation, but it is based on your needs at the moment. But it doesn't mean that you will stay on that particular pathway, because you may improve in your academic performance, and so there's that opportunity. It's quite fluid, so you are able to move from one pathway to the next.
The pathway system itself is ensuring that every child obtains education. The pathway is ensuring that no child is left behind. The pathway is ensuring that we become creative in helping these young minds. And that's what school is about, you know. School is about teaching and learning. But while it is about teaching and learning, let us be cognizant that all of us are not going to learn at the same rate. So we must tailor fit the curriculum for the slow learners. So we must not leave anybody behind. We must hold their hand, pull them up, and ensure that Vision 2030 is satisfied through an effective education system.
When we return, we're all in on what's being demanded for early childhood education.